Hi, it's Michael Farr at Farr, Miller in Washington. Thanks for joining me again this week. We're seeing some pretty good stuff in the stock market today. Equities on the Dow Jones Industrial Average up about 250 points. We are seeing a continued decline on the bond market. That perhaps is not quite as good. Yields are at 248 today. That's quite an increase. We've seen the German Bund, the 10-year German note, go almost back to 1%. Do you remember 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, when we were talking right here, I told you that it was at 7 basis points. Remarkable rise in the German Bund and a pretty significant rise in the 10-year Treasury note. Why are these rates going up? Because it seems like the economy's improving. The market strength today is being credited on Greece optimism. Germany may extend some credit. Things may happen better over in Europe. We wrote this week in our market commentary that some of the improvement, we think, is because the risks of deflation seem to be abating. The drop in commodity prices seems to have abated, and those commodity prices seem to have turned. So without that deflationary threat and the increase and the added increase in employment, which is looking pretty good to us right now, it seems that perhaps the Fed will get out of the way and we may have rate liftoff this year. Before you go running for champagne glasses, we continue to be cautious. We think that the Fed still may have this one-time bump in the fall and then go back to their data-dependent language. That's what a number of the Fed presidents have been telling me. We think that the Fed does indeed need to get out of the way, that they need to let market forces work. We are devout believers in free market economics at Farr, Miller in Washington, and you have to let those free markets work. So sooner or later, the Fed has to step back. With this bump up in rates, we're going to be watching mortgage originations and we're going to be watching refinancings. Those have stopped historically as rates have bumped up. We want to see what happens again this time. Getting the Fed out of the way is not going to be painless, but it's important nonetheless. It has to happen. So we're entering the summer. June has been a very tough month for markets historically. July might be as well. Keep your powder dry. Be cautious. Stock prices remain rather high, and we don't think this is a time to take on any additional risk. But lots going on. It's a fascinating time, so stay tuned, and if we can be of help at all, give us a call at Farr, Miller in Washington. In Washington, D.C., I'm Michael Farr. Thanks for joining me.